Alright man, let's talk about vitamin D, aka the sunshine hormone, sunshine vitamin, whatever you want to call it. Has a bunch of beneficial applications that we're going to get into right now. I'm going to go over a couple of well-known benefits, a couple of hidden benefits that you may not have heard of, and then after that you can make the decision of whether you want to take it or not. I would personally recommend taking it, even if you're getting a bit of sunshine during the day. If you're getting like hours and hours of sunshine a day, then maybe don't take it. But if you're living a sedentary lifestyle inside your house, going to work on the train, bus, car, whatever, you come home, you're just sitting on your desk watching TV on the couch and you're just not getting sunshine throughout the day, maybe vitamin D supplementation is right for you. Alright, so why the hell is vitamin D even so important? It actually regulates more than 5% of our coding DNA. Imagine that. More than 5% of your coding DNA is regulated from this one hormone. If you're not taking care of your vitamin D levels, you're causing a huge chunk of your DNA to be expressed in a suboptimal manner. Now this is because our vitamin D binds to the receptor on the cell, and through there it activates a bunch of genes, deactivates a bunch of genes, and given all this information, 70% of the US population is still has insufficient levels of vitamin D. I think it's 28% are actually fully deficient in vitamin D. That's obviously on track to get worse as we transition to a more and more sedentary lifestyle. Alright man, the first benefit is the immune system. I'm going to give you a couple of statistics that truly highlight the fact that vitamin D is integral to our immune system. In Indonesia, 98% of the people who died from COVID were vitamin D deficient. And when you look at Mendelian categorization, so we basically categorize individuals based on genes, you can see that people who have genes that basically give them low vitamin D levels are more likely to die from respiratory infections. There was also a meta-analysis that was comprised of over 25 randomized controlled trials and 11,321 participants. It looked at people who were supplementing vitamin D weekly or daily, and it showed that people who were deficient in vitamin D and then supplemented with vitamin D were 50% less likely to develop a respiratory tract infection. And also there's a bunch of more studies like this that show correlation between vitamin D levels and disease states. And obviously this is correlation, not causation, but you get the gist. Vitamin D is essential, and actually one of the ways that viruses hinder our immune system is through turning off the vitamin D receptor to the point where all the vitamin D circulating in our body is just not working. Alright man, second benefit, bone health. Vitamin D affects the intestinal absorption and renal reabsorption of calcium and phosphorus. Basically, you absorb more calcium when the vitamin D levels are sufficient, and with the help of K2, vitamin K2, you can redirect the calcium to where it's needed, the bones, not your arteries, or contributing to kidney stones or causing hypercalcemia. Essentially, vitamin D will help bone mineral density, general bone health, but adequate amount of vitamin K2 is needed for this effect to be actually optimized. The third well-known effect is its effect on happiness. Vitamin D will increase levels of happiness through the serotonin system by basically facilitating the conversion of tryptophan to serotonin. Tryptophan being the amino acid precursor to serotonin, and it's found in stuff like meat, particularly turkey. And for those of you who don't know, serotonin is a neurotransmitter that is responsible for feelings of bliss and contentment. But if you also get your vitamin D levels from the sun, it has a bunch of other benefits that you won't be able to get from supplementation, like nitric oxide production and the triggering of endorphins that increase the levels of happiness even further. You're also gonna get a nice tan. Alright, so the first unknown benefit, a benefit that's not talked about much in the scientific community or many YouTube channels, is its effect on growth hormone. Vitamin D regulates growth hormone and downstream IGF-1, which are potent growth pathways. More specifically, it regulates growth hormone and IGF-1's effect on the bones. And this is more specifically seen on IGF-1 and less so on growth hormone, although there is still some effect. Basically, if you're deficient in vitamin D, IGF-1 and growth hormone will have less of an effect on your bone, leading to detriments in bone health. The mechanism of action is through vitamin D's regulation of 3 of the 6 IGF-1's binding proteins. This information is especially important for adolescents and children wanting to optimize their height. Our second unknown benefit is its effect on testosterone. Although obviously this effect is talked about somewhat in the fitness community, in niche fitness communities, and there are positive correlations with vitamin D and testosterone. To varying extents, studies show that vitamin D levels are positively correlated with testosterone. This meta-analysis comprising 18 studies show that vitamin D has slight effects on testosterone, while others show big, massive increases in testosterone, more than 20%. In my opinion, I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Alright, third unknown benefit, its effect on weight loss, specifically through its ability to upregulate leptin in our body. Leptin is the hormone which increases satiety levels in our body. If you ever notice, after you eat a big meal, you feel full, obviously. That's basically leptin signaling to your brain to cause this feeling. Another way it could help you with weight loss is through modulating your thyroid to give you favorable results in terms of fat loss. Although I haven't seen much information on this topic particularly, so take that with a grain of salt. Alright bro, just a quick recap of what I went through today. The vitamin D is crucial for your body. More than 5% of your coding DNA is regulated by this essential hormone. It is a hormone basically. Most of the population is actually deficient in this essential hormone as well. Alright, so the 3 well-known benefits: its effect on mood, bone health, immune system. And the 3 not so well-known or not so well talked about benefits are its effect on growth pathways, testosterone, and weight loss. Alright brother, hope you learned a lot, and see ya.